this one should be pretty straightforward, but it's not. It's actually one of the more confusing releases that I've seen recently. Have the box looking pretty familiar, maybe a little bit of a hidden nostalgia from the Lost and Found. So we've got the scuffed up aged box, which has a bunch of printed on, I guess, white scuff marks, black lid with the red Nike branding on the top, and the general pullover box is the orange one. Notably, it's a direct flip on the Chicago Lost and Found. So this one has the orange lid, this one has the orange box. You get the point. But here we have them, the very bright Jordan 1 UNC Reimagined. When you get these in the box, you will get two laces. Obviously, you can see I've laced them up with the sale ones, but you also get a UNC color, so you've got two options. So this is the latest sneaker in Jordan Brand's what seems like now an infinite money glitch called the Reimagined series. Now, this series started back in 2021 with the patent-bred Jordan 1. Now that we've seen, I don't know how many shoes have been part of this series, but it really does feel like now there's no boundaries to it. They can reimagine things in any way they want. I guess that's why they called it the Reimagined series. I mean, just how vague reimagining is. Like, who's doing the reimagining? There's no guidelines, there's no storyline behind it. Each one has been pretty different. Except for these. This is the first time that we've actually seen some consistency with this lineup. Every other sneaker that they've done has been vastly different, from a full switch up in completely different materials. Some added unique elements from different samples of the past. Some get age details, some don't. But this one right here is pretty much a replica of the Jordan 1 Lost and Found, which is, by the way, arguably the most successful and beloved pair in this Reimagined series. I think if you ask most people, they would probably put it at number one if they had to rank them all. And although it seems pretty straightforward for Jordan Brand to just take this template that they did with the Lost and Founds and then just replicate that, of course, it's gonna work again, but I'm not too sure. One thing I am sure of, however, is how satisfying it is to swap the lids of both of these boxes from the Chicagos and the UNCs. Everything is right in the world. Now, a couple things you do need to know about this pair of shoes. They drop on May the 10th as of right now for $180. And as of right now, we don't really have any kind of rumors or numbers when it comes to the amount of pairs that they've made stock, but it does kind of seem like there is going to be a decent amount of these things. Maybe that's another thing that they're going to be taking from the Chicago Lost and Founds. Now, that's just kind of based off of the current resale price of these things if you check on different resale platforms. However, I mean, we do know that that could just be backdoored pairs as well. We're not getting into all of that. Now, for sizing, pretty straightforward. These fit like any other Jordan 1, so no changes, no reimagining with that. Personally, I stay true to size, so that's what I'm going to recommend for you. Now, for the most part, like I said, these are basically two different identical shoes. Now, that's strictly in practicality. We'll get into all of the little details in a second, but I would say fundamentally, these do actually share maybe a lot more ideas with the white cement 3s. I mean, these have all of the age details just like the white cement 3s had, except none of the crazy storytelling like we had with the Chicagos. You know, the aging details that you find on the Chicago Lost and Founds, it seemed very intentional. It went completely with the storyline of this pair of shoes that Nike told us. These were essentially made to bring forth that experience of potentially going into a little mom and pop shop and happening upon an original pair of Jordan 1s. That's why the box is all scuffed up and beat up, and inside the actual box of these, you get a little receipt from the mom and pop store with the original price on there. You've got sale stickers on the box. Even the paper that these things come wrapped in has little cutouts of newspaper ads. It's all to tell this story. The UNCs, on the other hand, have none of those additional added extras. You don't get the receipt, you don't get the special paper, you just get brown paper. You don't get the stickers on the box, and that's because, well, it's a different pair of shoes. It can't tell the same story as a pair of Chicagos, but it does, to me, kind of diminish the storytelling that could have been told about the UNCs, maybe. Depends how deep you want to go with it. But essentially what you really do care about is the actual materials, which are identical. So when you hold these two side by side, you feel this leather around. It is pretty much one-to-one. Pretty much if you liked what you found with the Chicagos, you're probably going to like these too. All of the overlay panels that you find on here, the UNC light blue color, that feels decently thick and nice leather, but not to the point of where it feels stiff. The white leather is where things get a lot more interesting. As you know, it's got that cracked leather effect, which is very well done on this pair of shoes. Like, Nike has done the cracked leather thing on a bunch of different different sneakers, but I don't think they've ever done it as good as how they did it on the Lost and Founds in these. So the toe box just has very faint little cracked lines, and it's actually textured like that as well, so you can really feel it. Same thing with the medial panel, it has that cracked texture. Up around the ankle collar, that's where the cracking gets a little bit more obvious, like this seems to just be cracked to the next level. It's a lot less obvious than the Lost and Founds, obviously because this is white and the Lost and Founds were black, but it's the exact same thing. Now, when I'm calling these panels white, they're not actually solid white like you would find on a regular pair of Nike shoes or the 2015 pair of the UNCs. They've dulled it down a little bit. It's almost like an off-white. It's not exactly sail, it's just a little bit duller, which I do actually think complements the UNC blue really nicely. If it was just solid white, it does add like a lot of brightness to this pair of shoes, so I do like that aspect. I think it just blends this colorway a little bit nicer together, so it's a lot more wearable when you pull it off with outfits. Now, the sail laces are definitely the way to go. I feel like that just looks so clean, and it just kind of looks like the way it should be, but obviously you can throw in the UNC ones too. Underneath that, you've got the tongue, which is also identical to the Lost and Found, so it has a little bit of a yellowed effect, significantly more yellow than the other leather panels. The sock liner is also really nice and silky, just like they did with the Lost and Found, so it's not that kind of, you know, super wide mesh material that's a little bit rougher. These things are really nice to slip on. If you're like me, a little bit of a degenerate and just stamps your foot into your shoes, you're gonna appreciate the fact that this is a little bit more slippy, so your foot just goes in without completely mashing up the back. But by far, the most controversial detail added to this pair of sneakers that, funnily enough, is not on the Lost and Founds is this crazy extreme yellowed midsole. Yes, this is the first thing that you're going to notice when you pull these things out of the box. Now, the Lost and Founds, if you put these side by side, it almost looks like solid white compared to these, but it's just a much more subtle yellowing that you find on here. These have been taken up to level 10. Now, this is obviously something that a lot of people will absolutely hate. They don't see the point in buying a brand new pair of shoes that looks really old. And to some degree, I can definitely see where they're coming from, especially given that this doesn't have the same storytelling or purpose as the Lost and Founds would. But personally, just from an aesthetic point of view, I actually don't mind it at all. I think it goes well with the off-white and the light blue that you find on the upper. It seems to all go together pretty nicely. Now, the outsole is where you find the exact same thing as the Lost and Founds, this white oxidization thing that they threw on there, which I believe is paint. It hasn't been changed or anything. It's exactly the same as the Lost and Founds. So yeah, no difference there. And this is literally just like a replica of what would happen to a pair of shoes if they had been kept in the box for like 40 years. This white stuff would appear on the rubber. Again, cool detail if you're telling the story of the Lost and Founds, but I mean, reality is for most people, they're not going to care about that because you're walking on it. But with all of this being said, I've actually seen a lot more people with issues like with the aging with this pair of shoes than I originally thought they was going to be. You know, I kind of assumed, well, these are just going to be like the Lost and Found, so everybody liked those. Why wouldn't they like these? So is the midsole the only thing that people have an issue with? Like, if they just did a little bit like the exact same one as the Lost and Found, would people be super happy with this? Would it be unanimous? Or is there something up with these where like the storytelling really carried it and made this something that a lot of people liked and not necessarily all of the aged elements? And obviously the fact that it's a pair of Chicagos. And I don't know, definitely something I'd like to hear your guys' opinion on down in the comment section below. For me, I think that they could have come up with a pretty compelling story to tell about the UNCs. Like, it's a pretty iconic colorway. It's Jordan's school colors that they turned into an original colorway in 1985 of a Jordan 1. Definitely doesn't have the same lore as a pair of Chicagos, but the story's still there. There's probably some unique stuff in the archives that they could have come up with. Nevertheless, all of that aside, I'm still happy that they went with this. I really like this pair of shoes. I like the colors. I think that actually the sail midsole kind of helps it work a little bit better with certain outfits. Makes it at least a little bit easier. You know, if you're wearing a bright light blue and white pair of sneakers, they really stand out. But the slight dulling of the white and the yellow midsole definitely helps it go with more neutral tones. Like, you throw on some sail in your outfit and you're good to go. But hey, let me know what you guys think of these down in the comment section. Are you going to be going for them when they do release? Do you like the age details? Do you hate the sail midsole? Love to see your thoughts. And hey, if you want to check out another video, of course, there's one right over there.